I'm bringing it to my clients first. We're going to do like, a really good offer. And basically, it's going to be an offer so good you'll feel stupid for saying no. So out of all my podcasts, if you had to pick one to listen to or watch, this would be the one. What I'm about to share with you guys is definitely a huge game changer, and I'm so excited about this. I've been like trying not to tell everybody because it's so awesome. But anyways, I've got Sarah here, Sarah Otto. She's a long-term client of mine. We've been working together about 4 or 5 years now, and I've met her in person multiple times. And anyway, she's got an awesome thing that we're going to share with you today. Real quick, Sarah, if you want to go ahead and just introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Sarah, and I have been working with Jake for about 5 years now. I'm in permanent makeup, and I'm venturing out to something a little bit better and a little bit new.
Yeah, so Sarah's a client, obviously, like we just said, and she called me. It was a couple weeks ago, and she said, Jake, I have this great idea, and I was wondering if you could run ads for it. And so I listened to her idea, and I was like, wow, this is so amazing, and this is going to help all my clients. And so I was like, I mean, I know Sarah, I trust her and everything, and I've worked with her, and like I said, I've done in-person events with her. But I want to say, like, is this legit, or how legit is this really? And so what I did, long story short, is last week I was in Alabama with my family visiting. I flew Sarah over there from around Houston, and we actually did what we're about to tell you about. I experienced it in person, and I got to see it for myself. And it's 100% legit. It's amazing, and so that's what I want to share with you guys. And so, all right, enough of the curiosity. Let's kind of break it down. So, what we're going to be talking about is a new thing. It's a new trend. It's been trending on TikTok. It's been all over the news. It's something that I was telling my aunt about because she runs a permanent makeup business and spa, and she was like, yeah, my sister was actually asking about this recently, and so that's how I know it's a legit trend. That and many other factors. But long story short, if you've never heard of permanent jewelry, we're about to blow your mind because this is awesome. And I'll be honest, like the first time I heard about permanent jewelry, I was like, what is that? Is that where you weld something onto somebody's skin? Like, what is that? But it's not. It's really cool. I'm actually wearing one right now. I've had this on for a couple weeks, and
I have mine that your aunt did.
yep, this is something that's amazing. And sorry, Sarah, for talking so much. I'll let you explain something in a second. It's just if you're listening to this and you already run a beauty business, or even if you've never ran a business ever, this is something that's easy to pick up. It's easy to learn. There's a lot of things you need to know, and that's why we're creating a training course on this. But it's something that you can quickly pick up, add on to your service options, and it can increase your revenue by 25%. So, for example, like let's say you charge $400 for brows. Well, what happens if you only have you have a client and they can only get brows done once per year? Well, I mean the
Hmm.
value of that client's not it's $400 essentially per year. Well, what if you could increase that by 25%? What if you could add on $100 or $200? And those are the price ranges you can charge for this stuff, and the profit margins are huge. And so, without spoiling it all right now, let's dive into, like, Sarah, how did you find out about permanent jewelry? Have you been doing it? Where did you learn about it? Let's kind of dive into that.
So a little over a year ago, I was seeing a TikTok about it, and I was like, "That's pretty cool." And kind of how you said earlier is like when I brought it to you, your question is, "What the heck is that?" And that's how I felt about brows 7, 8 years ago. No one really knew what it was, and the same thing with permanent jewelry, so that makes me really excited. But yeah, I kept seeing TikToks about it, and I got really curious, and I started watching. And I'm a gold fanatic. I love dainty, pretty little jewelry, and so I was bored at the time. I was in transition from Houston to LaGrange and moving my business. And so I was like, I'm going to figure this out. And so for a couple months, I honed in. I watched TikToks. No, everyone was gatekeeping. No one was really, well, trying to tell me what machine they were using or what setting they had it on or where they got their jewelry. So I eventually figured it out for myself. And then I guess what was it last month basically is when I was like, you know what? I have so many people asking me how to do this, and I don't want to be a gatekeeper. Let me hone in on training people because there is a lot of money to be made. And you made the concept of brows and those people only return once or twice a year. Well, a lot of my clients, I don't even really market this. I've kind of posted about it a couple of times, and the majority of my clients add it on to their services. and it only takes a few minutes to do. So it's not like I even have to change my schedule very much. Or last minute and they're walking out and they see my jewelry display. Hey, what is this? Oh, okay, cool. I want to go ahead and get one. So
Yes.
whether it's something that you're starting from scratch as a business or you're already existing and just want to add it on, it's definitely a moneymaker.
Yeah, so basically it sells itself. And like, like she was saying, like if you have your brow client there, you have your waxing client or massage, whatever client you have there, it's easy to upsell this and make an extra
Mm-hmm.
$100+ and
It really does. Sorry.
and then let's just break it down for them. Like, how long does this, like, let's say this little bracelet, how long would it take you to put this bracelet on somebody, and what would you charge for it?
So when I train people, I usually suggest that they book 10 to 15 minutes per client. Ideally, it's going to take you between the time the client walks in. I say client because I'm so used to permanent makeup, but customer. From the time the customer works in, they're going to pick out their jewelry. You're going to size it and weld it on, and they pay. It shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes per customer. So, and that's one bracelet. Maybe they get two. A lot of people do stacks. People will do a necklace and a matching anklet or whatever it might be. So,
Right. And like, like I said, I got this bracelet and I watched my aunt get a double necklace. I watched my cousin because we trained basically, long story short, like you guys all know my story. I started helping my aunt in permanent makeup like 5 years ago. Well, anyways, her daughter is now an esthetician and they have like a spa slash salon there. And so to make sure this was like completely legit, which like I said, I already trusted Sarah 100%. I just want to see it for myself and experience it for myself. I had Sarah come train my cousin and my aunt, and it was a 1 day training. We walked through everything. They asked all their questions. It went very smoothly. And long story short, now my cousin offers it. She's getting, lots of bookings for it. And just to put this in perspective, guys, like this is something that's huge for especially people who only have like, brow services, because like you have one ticket, or even if you offer brows, lips, and eyeliner, those are multi-$100 services. And so if that's all you can, it's hard. Besides just doing like a discount stuff, it can be hard to get people in the door, especially during slow times. And so, how awesome would it be to say like, hey, for right now only $99 you can get a necklace or a jewelry or a bracelet, and then you get those people in the door, you build that rapport with them, that relationship, and then it's like, hey, by the way, I also offer brows. And so it's just a really great way to get people in the door, which is huge in business. And that's honestly the
right.
main disadvantage of being a permanent makeup artist is, and I'm sorry for like most of the time in the podcast I let the guests do the talking. I'm sorry for doing too much talking.
No,
But
you're
I'm
fine.
just like,
You're excited. I love that.
this has been building up for like weeks. I'm just super excited for my clients, and I want them to quickly understand how this can change their business. But yeah, and let's talk about, how do you learn this? I mean, what are the tools required? Like, is it a big process, or can you kind of explain that for them?
Well, I would like to start. I don't even think we've explained what exactly is permanent jewelry. So, like Jake said, there's a huge misconception, that where it's like a dermal piercing, or it has nothing to do with your skin. The client's not going to feel, they're not touching their skin. We're not working with their skin. We're just welding a piece of jewelry. I have one on my wrist right now, and it doesn't have a clasp. So it's forever jewelry. It doesn't come off unless you want it to. There are going to be a bunch of FAQs like PSA and surgery. Those are non-issues. It can easily be removed and replaced if it needs to be. But for the most part, I mean, to answer your question, there's a machine that's probably so big, it's got a stylus on it. There's an electrode that makes the spark go off. You'll hear people call it spark jewelry and that type of thing. And the spark is I think 0.06 milliseconds. So it's very quick. There's no heat to it. The bracelet doesn't heat up. You're not going to feel heat. The client's not going to feel heat. There's absolutely no risk like there are in permanent makeup. There's not really any consent forms more than like, if the jewelry breaks for whatever reason, you have X amount of days to bring it back, which has only happened to me one time. And that was kid that works at HEB, which is the Texas grocery store. And he's a curbside guy. And he said, it breaks off when I carry the water, but it's the only only client that I've had an issue. So there shouldn't be a whole lot of the breaking situations other than, pregnant ladies. I've replaced a bunch of anklets for them after they've had their baby and that swelling goes down. But there really is, it's easy to learn for the most
Hey,
part,
real quick,
especially when you have all the.
I just wanted to touch on that point because I've had mine on for, like I said, about 2 weeks now. And I went through TSA a couple days ago. No problem. They didn't even ask about it. I went through the metal detector. No issues at all. That's for flying because I flew from Alabama to Alaska. And then I've gone swimming with it. We did a house remodel. I was moving furniture, hanging stuff, like doing all kinds of stuff last week, working, never had any issues. And so these things are, and honestly, this is the sterling silver version. So this is what you could give people. This is like the low end of what you could give people. Like
Mhm.
this is the cheapest stuff. And so it hasn't turned my skin green. It looks the exact same as it did 2 weeks ago. And so I'm overall really impressed. And I'm honestly not a jewelry guy. Like at most, I'll wear like my Apple Watch. But I've like
Right.
it sounds funny, but I've actually enjoyed having this on. It's cool, and it's just like even with my Apple Watch, like
Yeah.
I forget to put it on all the time, but this is just always there and stuff. It's cool.
Well, I know I told you this. I'm a mom, and anything that saves me time in the day, if I wake up and I have this jewelry on my body already, and I just get dressed really quickly, I feel kind of done. And it is. I remember when I reached out to you about this, and I had a permanent bracelet that I put on myself. I work around cattle. I work in rice fields, which is 3 foot of water on a regular basis. I do some pretty nitty gritty things, and my bracelet was in pristine condition. I mean, this is jewelry that lasts. Yeah, they're definitely durable and they're going to stand the test of time, whether it's the sterling silver or the 14 karat solid gold. So no matter which way you go, it's going to be a good for your customers.
Yep. And so that brings up a good point. There are multiple options because I was actually telling one of my good friends about this who owns multiple med spas around the country. And she was like, well, my brand is very bougie and, fancy and stuff. And I was like, that's no problem at all. In fact, we've done all the competitor research. We've looked up every single permanent jewelry shop in the country slash world. And there are a lot of, really like you can make this look very elegant and nice. This is something where, you can have bridal showers, you can have, you know, bachelorette parties. You can have school moms groups, like anything in that. You can have a
Mm-hmm.
glass of champagne and like create a fun experience. And so this is something that it's not. Yes, you can have pop up shops. You don't even have to have an in store. You can do a pop up shop, but you can make it very nice and fancy looking too. And this can be like a luxury style service. I guess let's go back. We've kind of talked about what it is, and like we mentioned, there's multiple metals, and we're going to dive into, like, we're going to have a course on this. And because the thing is, and this is one of the questions I asked, is like, when she first told me about this, I was like, what's stopping me from just buying a machine and just doing this myself? And we've actually, just from creating a TikTok and stuff that says permanent jewelry training, we've had people reach out and say, like, I bought this random machine or this, and I have no idea what I'm doing. And it's, there's so specific machines you need, because like you can't just go get a welding machine and like that's dangerous. Like there's
Yeah.
specific ones that meant to, like you can touch it to your skin and it like nothing happens. And so there's a lot of ins and outs in this where do not go try to do this yourself. We're going to make it. I mean, I'm not trying to sell this right now because we haven't opened up, slots for it yet, depending on when you watch this. But, long story short, we're going to make sure that there's enough supplies included in this to where you're going to easily make your money back like really quick. So this is a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the training part. So like, what goes into the training? Like what kind of supplies do they need? Can you kind of give us a summary of that?
In the training, I mean, I'm going to teach you every little bit of things that you're going to need to know. I, like Jake said earlier, what keeps me from buying a machine? Well, I did that because there was no training, and it took me months and lots of money on different materials and blowing metal apart and burning things. I didn't understand what settings I was using, and argon gas and regulators. And I mean, the list can go on. So for the training, you're not really going to need anything after you purchase it with us. I would say, at most, maybe a little, if you want to do pop-ups, then, a tote bag for jewelry display. If you already have a brick and mortar, then you don't need anything. We'll send you everything that you need.
Yeah, and the potential of this is huge. Like just to put this in perspective, like we saw a permanent jewelry shop in New York City that's getting like 80 something clients a day. And if you think about
Mm-hmm.
it, at 10 minutes per client, like at $100, let's say you make $100 profit per person, they're making $8,000 a day. Now that's insane
Yeah.
numbers. Uh,
And $100 is being really conservative with what you can charge for this.
yeah, I mean, just for example, like I saw my cousin gave my aunt a double necklace and a bracelet, and like she could have charged her 350 plus for that, and it took
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes.
Yeah. And that's why she was learning. It only took her 20 minutes. I was really surprised by how fast she picked it up. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was kind of like, oh, wow. Okay. So I mean, I know it's easy, but it really is easy. I can teach anyone
Yep.
as long as you have the the right components to put together. But
All right, so I put myself in like the listener's shoes. Like my typical listener is a beauty business owner or a permanent makeup artist, and so I'm trying to think if I was in the shoes, what would I want to know? And I kind of already know this because when I was pitching this to my aunt, saying like, hey, Sarah's gonna fly here from Houston and teach you. Like, do you want to learn? These are the questions she also had, and so number one, like, does it hurt? And it's similar with permanent makeup, does it hurt? But this is a little bit different answer. So go ahead, Sarah, with that.
yeah, like I said before, we're not messing with the client's skin. We're not touching them. The spark is only for 0.06 seconds. So there is absolutely nothing hurts. There's nothing to it. It's actually a really fun experience.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time I ask the client to look away from the spark, but they kind of want to see like, how does it all go down? There's nothing to, as far as pain, absolutely nothing. There's no risk to your client.
Yep, no risk at
Customer.
all. Like I said, like I even tested this machine, and like you can stick it to your skin and it won't do anything, but it has to
Mm-hmm.
be in contact with the metal. Can it
Right.
be removed? So like a lot of people ask, well, what about TSA? Well, like I said, I went through TSA 2 days ago, and they didn't even ask about it. It's perfectly fine for TSA. Let's say you have to
Mm-hmm.
have surgery. Like, how can it be removed, and what can they do about it?
So generally, when my customers leave here, I give them their aftercare, right? And that's just how to take care of it, which is basically nothing. But I show them where the weld is, and I say if there's any reason that you need to remove it, or you have a surgery that's coming up that you want to save your jewelry and have it rewelded, cut it here and bring it back to me, and I'll reweld it. And some businesses charge a $25 fee for that. Some people say I'll reweld it once for free, and then after I'll charge, up to your discretion. But it's really pretty simple.
Yep. All right. Does it require any maintenance, or like how long do these things last?
I mean, I had mine on for 4 or 5 months up to this point, and I've worked, like I said, with cattle, rice farm, hydraulic oil, all kinds of things, and I've not ever cleaned mine. I hate to admit that I've never cleaned it. I mean, when I take a shower, I wash it with my body soap.
Hmm.
You can wash it with light Dawn dish soap if you'd like. People that do like to clean their jewelry, but if you're using quality metals, then there's not really a worry there. They're not gonna, there are metals out there that it's gonna turn green and they're gonna fade, but we're not providing you with that, and we're gonna make sure that you know how to identify what that is so you don't use them.
All right, so let's talk about, business. So, I love talking numbers when it comes to, this kind of stuff. So, let's say that I don't know, let's just say like, you're basically, just to summarize it, you're getting like, you can buy like a foot of the chain, or you can buy 10 feet of the chain. Can you kind of break down like the numbers on how much each of these would cost, and then how much they could potentially profit from it?
So as far as profit goes, I mean, we already established that it's pretty easy to do. It only takes 5, 10, 15 minutes. So kind of what I figured based off the clients, customers that I've taken, in an hour and a half, you can do 10 people. And let's just do a conservative average number, $100 per bracelet. Let's say we're just doing bracelets, because obviously anklets are more, necklaces are more. So if you take 10 people at $100 in an hour and a half, that's $1,000. And let's say we're doing gold filled. So that's the moderate price. We have sterling silver, gold filled, and then 14 karat gold. You're probably going to spend max $20 a foot. 1 foot gets you 2 bracelets. So if you're taking 10 people, that's 5 foot of material that you're spending $20 on. Multiply that by 20. Multiply 20 by 5. That's your cost, and then deduct that from the $1,000 that you made from those 10 people in that hour and a half, and there's your profit.
Okay, those numbers made my head spin. So, can we break that down?
Now, so everything's based a little bit on an average, since materials do vary in price, but we're just going to assume gold filled, you're going to spend $20 on a foot of material, and you can 10x that in your profit. So you can make about 200 on that $20 of material essentially.
Yeah, and just to clarify, that's the low end. So basically, what she's saying is for a foot of material, like about $20, and that covers about two bracelets. If you charge $100 a piece for each bracelet, that's $200. So you just 10 extra profit. Now, for
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm going to recommend you charge more than that, especially if you add a little charm or something like that, which are basically super cheap. But like, let's say that you charge $200 a piece for those bracelets, you just 20x that, you know, material cost, and so it costs you $20 on average, and you make $400. You just 20. That's a crazy return on investment, and for two bracelets, it takes about 30 minutes total. So you're
Right.
making
And those are very conservative numbers. I mean, I've definitely charged more than that, but
yeah. And so basically, like you can make up to $800 to $1,000 an hour on this stuff. And I know these sound like salesy numbers and stuff, but like this is not something that, like, basically, like, long story short, guys, Sarah came to me and she was like, Jake, can you run an ad for this? And I was like, what is this permanent jewelry stuff? And, an hour later after our conversation, I was like, I'm super interested in this. I want you to come train my aunt. I want to watch it. I want to experience it in person. And then once we were done with that, I was like, you know what? I believe in this so much and it's so awesome because this, to me, this is a trend, just like permanent makeup was, just like cryo slimming was. Like, this is a trend that you want to get on. And the thing is, guys, you want to get on this trend now, because if you wait till 2 years, 3 years, the market's going to be saturated. So whoever gets in
Mhm.
right now are the ones that are going to make a lot of money off this, and that's just how trends work. And so,
The
long story
OGs.
short, after I saw this, I found the details. I saw how amazing it was. Like, I was like, yeah, I want to partner with you on this. And so that's why, like, I'm busy. Everybody knows that I've got a lot of stuff going on, and so it takes a lot to convince Jake Randolph to partner with something. And so that's how much I believe in this. And so I'm bringing it to my clients first. We're going to do, like, a really good offer. Basically, it's going to be an offer so good you'll feel stupid for saying no. That's how I would summarize it, because we're going to include a lot of great stuff in this. And so before we jump into that, are there any other things that you want people to know, like, or what should they know about permanent jewelry? Like, why should they, besides all the stuff we just said, like huge profits, trends, like all that stuff, what makes this the thing they need to do?
I mean, I think it's just like adding anything else to your service list. Is it's going to get other people in your door that you can sell your higher price ticket items to. It creates a it, it definitely creates a word of mouth. Whether it be for permanent jewelry, or if you do permanent cosmetics already, or you do eyelashes, people are going to be talking about it because there's no one. I mean, in my town, there's no one doing it. So, and I'm slowly seeing it pop up in other surrounding counties in Texas. But that you can be the OG. I mean, and there's no risk to your client, which I love.
Yeah, and you guys, you can look this up on TikTok. There were literally, I want to say it was high millions or billions of trending hashtags for this, like permanent jewelry, and so it's already a big thing. It's still an early trend, and so it's going to get even bigger. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we've been watching people, and like websites are popping up all the time. Like, this is quickly coming out, and so that's why I wanted to jump on this and be like the go-to place, the
Yeah.
best, because I know Sarah as a person, and she's been a great friend for years. Like I said, I went and visited her in Houston 3 years ago. We did a marketing boot camp. She came and hung out with me at the lake house last week. We've been working together for 5 years, and so that's why, like, if she was some random person or just like a random client, I probably wouldn't have jumped on this. But like, this is such a huge opportunity. Plus, I believe in Sarah, and I watched her in person. I saw the training. I saw how she cares about her support. She cares about, like, making sure that the students. It's not like a lot of these trainers I see where they're just in it for the money. Like, she literally told me, I just want to be able to pay the bills, but I also want to, like, share this knowledge with people and really, it's for her, it's not a get rich quick scheme. This is something that she's passionate about. She loves it. And going back to our original point, like, she mentioned that people are going to tell their friends about it with word of mouth, and I find that to be so true, because, like, just with my little sterling silver bracelet, which is, I'm just like proud of it. It's like, I'm like, hey, look at this, like, this is permanent, like, there's
I
no
love it.
clasp on here, and it's just fun. And, I've been telling people about it, my family, my friends. I'm like, it's just like a fun little
Mm-hmm.
thing. And so, like, I can definitely, the trends we've seen are like friends come in and get friendship bracelets together. People, even with older people, like, for example, my mom, I hope she doesn't get mad for me saying this, but she has, some rheumatoid arthritis, and it's hard for her. Like, we bought her a necklace with my son's, birthstone on it, for Christmas, and it's hard for her to get it on and off because her fingers are a little bit, hard to manage to clasp. And so this is like a great solution for her, because she's able to, wear that jewelry and stuff without having to worry about taking it on and off all the time.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many benefits, not just for your business, but for your customers too. I mean, like I said, I don't even really promote this very much. I've posted about it a couple times, and a lot of my clients add it on as a service. But I also get drones of like high schoolers in here, and couples, and a friend group, and I mean, so there's multiple people at once. And then, just like you said about the arthritis, and for me, I'm a mom. Anything that can make my morning routine a little easier, and if that means spending 3 minutes less of my day putting jewelry on, then I'm down for it all day long. So
Yep. And that's the thing. I think it's for all ages, all genders. Like I think it can,
Hmm.
there's something in there for everybody. And the numbers we've been putting out, like we said, are conservative because once you get into the 14 karat gold, you can start charging, four, five, six, up, $1,000. You can charge a lot of money for those, and it's more of like the bougie, fancy, nice, like things that people
Hmm.
appreciate, the finer things in life. And so I think it's just an amazing service that every single one of you need to add on. So let's talk about like I think we've hyped it up enough. I'm hoping that people realize how big of an opportunity this is. And so let's tell them a little bit about the training. Is this going to be in person? Is it going to be online? Let's go over those details.
Well, for sure, we're doing it online, and we are in talking about maybe traveling and doing some in-person training for those who are interested. I mean, for so long I was against online training, and I feel like the way we've put this together makes it, so seamless and easy to follow, so anyone can learn it, even if it is online.
Yeah, and like that's another reason I brought her in person so I could kind of watch it and from the lens of like what if I'm watching this on a video or something like, because anything I put my name behind, like at this point, like guys, I don't need the money, I don't need I do this because I love to do it, and so I'm not going to put my name on something that I don't believe in, and so
Right.
I do 100% like after watching the training, in person, I can see how exactly like because we're going to hire a videographer team, like so it's going to be HD, it's going to be very easy to learn online. And so I mean, yes, it would be fun to travel around and do in-person stuff eventually, but right now I think online's the best way to get information out there quickly to all my clients around the world. So let's talk about like what supplies do they need, and like what is it going to be included in the training. And I apologize for any lag.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, her internet's not the best in Texas, and so we we
Sorry. Very small, sleepy retirement community over here,
no.
which I think speaks volumes to the permanent jewelry being successful too.
Yep. So basically, what I want to know is, or I mean, I already know it. I just want to kind of share it with the audience. Let's say they sign up for our training. What's going to be included? What materials, or do they have to find their own machine? Can you kind of go over that?
You're definitely going to get a machine. You're going to get protective eyewear for yourself because even though there's no risk to your client, when you're watching that spark all day long, it can be kind of, bright lights in your eyes. You'll get a set of pliers. Right now, we're talking about 8 foot and chain link material, but we also this morning decided we think we want to put more in there for you guys. So 8 foot for sure, maybe more, maybe closer to. We're hoping it covering the whole entire cost of your kit plus some, the profit that you can make off the chain that's included. What else is included? What do we put in there? A Dremel, a diamond back, a bunch of things that I can list that you might not, an argon regulator that you're not going to understand until you take the class. But for the most part, you'll be ready to take clients or customers that day.
Yep. So basically, our goal was to one, make sure that your return on investment is like obvious. Like you buy our training, you're going to get a kit where you can easily make that money back right away, and then you're going to be able to like do it the same day. And so like you're going to be able to take this class and go practice on somebody that evening. The other
Mm-hmm.
goal was this, like I said earlier, is to make this offer so irresistible you're going to feel stupid for saying no, because number one, it's a trend that's you've got to jump on. Number two, I'm a pretty good marketer, I think, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to include my skills and services as part of kind of a bonus. So basically, I'm going to I don't want to give away too much right now because like this might be such a good offer that I only can do for like 20 people. So I know this video is going to be up for years. But basically, long story short, I'm going to put some very enticing things for the first like 20 to 30 people who sign up for this, whether it's like helping with the ads or doing some kind of marketing coaching so that you can quickly get those clients in the door. And I'm going to teach you how to
Mm-hmm.
really like we're going to go over like it's not just about how to do permanent jewelry, it's how to integrate it into a fully capable business. It can be a standalone business, or if you're already a business owner, which many of you are, it's going to be an amazing add-on service or a way to get people in the door, even a way to profit a lot of money. And so we're going to be including a lot with this training. Yes, the price is not going to stay this low very long, and I'm not even going to say the price right now because, like I said, my YouTube videos stay up for years, and so. But we will include a link where you can see everything you get and stuff. And we're happy to answer questions. That's another thing we're going to do is, it's not just something where you watch and it's over. Like we're going to have a Facebook support group. We're going to have you're going to be
Mm-hmm.
able to ask questions, share your experiences, with other members.
I'm available to talk to whoever.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like that, and that's why I wouldn't have picked anybody else as a partner that doesn't have the same passion for helping people. Sarah, I've watched her over the years. She's always, her students have always given her amazing feedback because she trains in like permanent makeup and other stuff. Do you train in teeth whitening? I can't remember.
I do. Everything I do is one-on-one though, so I don't announce any of that thing. It's more of people find me and ask if do you still train? I'm like, yeah, come on, let's schedule something. But yeah, pretty much every service I offer, I train in.
Yeah, but anyways, I've seen her interaction with students over the years. She's got nothing but great feedback, and I know she really cares about helping people. And so, if this was something where I thought that, it's going to piss people off and they're not going to get support and stuff like that, I would never even touch it with a 10-foot pole. But it's something I truly believe in. I believe in Sarah, and I'm going to have a huge hand in this, like, making sure that it's, an amazing offer. You're going to get all the bonuses and like things that, like, even if you went like, we've done competitor research, and like there's only a few other trainings out there, and they charge like, what is it, $3,000 to $5,000 or more.
I think the most expensive one I saw was 5,500,
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah. So we're going to be given like at least double the value for
Hmm.
less than 5,500. I'm not going to throw out prices right now, but it's going to be the best. It's going to be the number one deal
Yeah.
on the market. And two, like, you guys know who I am. You're going to get a good product with me. You're going to get, quality stuff with me. And so, yeah, this was a lot to cover. I know we're already at like 32 minutes, 33 minutes, talking 100 miles an hour. There's a lot of information, but, we're going to include that on the
Hmm.
website page. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. But long story short, the offer we're going to be doing is only going to be valid. And I don't just like, I know everybody says there's like limited spots available and all scarcity. And obviously, I know all the marketing tricks, but the reason we're doing an amazing offer up front is to, one, get testimonials, because we know you guys are going to love it. We know like, to get case studies, so I can say like, hey, this artist in Los Angeles, she's getting 10 bookings a day for permanent jewelry. She's making this much money, and she made back her investment from the training within 10 days. So that's just an example of, what we're going for. And so that way, obviously, you guys know the power of reviews and testimonials. That way, like, whoever gets in first is going to get, the best deal, because we're trying to build reviews, testimonials, proof of concept. And so it's going to be awesome. But yeah, I feel like I've talked too much on here. I'm just super excited, and I apologize for that, Sarah. Is there anything
No,
else you want them to know, or where can they reach you at? Where's the best place to contact you?
I mean, as far as anything else to know, no, not right this second. Kind of like Jake says, we're trying not to say too much, and it's hard. I've been sitting here smiling, like, but it's so much better. Like, there's so much more we're going to give you, but we can't tell you just yet. As far as reaching me, I don't know. Should I be giving my personal phone number out? Is that a good idea?
I'll just, this podcast is probably going to launch in a few days, and so we'll go over that, and I'll include all the info in the description and stuff. And if you're listening to this, you know where to reach me too. And like I said, I'm a partner in this now because I believe in it so much. And so whether you go through me or Sarah, we'll have all that information clearly laid out by the time this video is published.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, so just to recap everything, permanent jewelry is a huge trend, and it includes, bracelets, necklaces. You can even add charms to them. You can customize these. There's different types of metals and chains. This is an awesome trend. There's no risk involved. It's high profit margins. Like, even someone with zero business experience can do this, but obviously my clients who are already, or my viewers who already have business experience, are going to crush it with this. I think it's something that's going to, just like permanent makeup, I think it's going to be a trend, and something that gets saturated over the next, 3 to 5 years. And so I think if you get in now, you're going to make a lot of money, and you can really dominate your market. Or if you wait and procrastinate, this is, just how permanent makeup goes. A lot of people waited too late. That being said, I do think it's a great time because, at the time of this recording, we're kind of leading in over the next few months. People are going back to school and fall and holidays, and, people always, buy more jewelry and stuff like that in the holidays. So if you get trained on this now, you can set yourself up for huge success towards the end of this year. I'll include links below where you can find out more information. You can reach out to me. Like I said, for the first like 20 people we do, it's going to be an amazing, irresistible offer. Like, that's probably going to sell out in maybe a day. I don't know. But, no matter when you're watching this, reach out to me. We'll see what we can do as far as like, where we're at the time. And if we can get you in, then awesome. Like I said, it's going to be tons of resources, support. It's going to be, a very high quality experience, and I've already made sure of that. So, cool. Any closing thoughts on that, Sarah?
Yeah, and I guess just to kind of conclude things, I'm super excited about this. I know you are. I love listening to you talk about it. I didn't think that you were that passionate about it, but it's really awesome. I love seeing that. And I can't wait to tell more people about it. I know that this is going to bring a supplemental income, or it's going to, kind of free people that they send all their babies away to school and now they want a hobby or to build a little business or whatever it might be. So just kind of keep a lookout for us. We are going to start launching soon. So turn on your notifications and we'll see you.
Yeah, of course I'm passionate about it because like I know even in the military, like, a normal year they give a 1% pay raise, or even in a job, maybe you get a 2 or 3% pay raise. But, to say that my average client can basically get a 25% pay raise, just from this training is, super exciting to me. And so yes, I think it's huge. I think I'm very excited about it, and I'm really looking forward to what's coming over the next few months. And like we said, we're opening this up within the next week or two, depending on when you're watching this. So if you're not, if you haven't heard about this yet, or if you're not in yet, definitely just message one of us, and I'll include the contact info below. But yeah, enough about that. We're really excited about this. Yeah, I can't say that enough. All right, guys. So that concludes the podcast. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.